The purpose of today's shoot is to talk about one occasion when the district commissioner of Kiambu, Kidhunguri is in Kiambu. Kidhunguri, I think, is in Kiambu. When the district commissioner of Kiambu, while addressing the Abaraza in Githunguri, had a primary school teacher shaven his beards without water and soap, and it carried a lot of things. There are so many things that happened during Kanu days that occasionally things crop up and then we remember and then we try to show, we try to share with today's generation. In this episode, I was provoked by the deputy managing editor of KTN. He had a program with two ladies, one of Samantha Bride or something, and he talked something out of context. He talked about how that issue happened, and he gave a completely wrong picture. I've seen many cases of going to an office, you talk to young people, can I say young men, and you find somebody, a young man, trying to teach you some things which you were there. And you ask, you say, no, when I was employed, I was told, and then you tell, I was there, I saw that, and I participated in it. But then, even after talking that way, you find the young men, rarely are there young women, also young men, even after correcting him and telling him what happened, you just find he looks at you and wonders if you are mad. Now, what the deputy managing editor of KTN said that the teacher was at the DC, looked aside and saw the teacher carrying a Marxist book. When he saw him carrying a Marxist book and he saw he had a lot of beard, then he called him and had him shaven. Nothing like that. Okay, I was not in Githunguri that day, but it is something that was there. It is something that was even discussed in our courses, comparing and whatever. So the truth has to be spoken. This teacher was not his bed was, according to the deputy managing editor of KTN, he says that when the DC turned around and saw this teacher with a Marxist book and he had a lot of beards, he decided to shave that. No. This is what happened. Teachers, I don't know, only second to provincial administration. Provincial administration, now it's called NGAO, National Government Administrative Officers. Apart from the administrators, I think teachers are the next in line who are people from the region. It is not like any other profession. Teachers, most likely you end up in your home area. So that teacher came from that area, and meaning came from that area means that whatever local people are facing were local problems that he faced. For example, Githunguri, we had a lot of cases there. We also had cases around Thika to Moranga area in a company that was called Boy Committee, something like that. So many cases. And the District Security Committee had a meeting, had a baraza, in which the intention of the baraza was to find an amicable solution. Now, when you are talking about, when you go to a baraza and you talk about issues to do with the place, maybe you are talking about the cattle dip, maybe you are talking about ABCD. You find that these professions, like teaching, a teacher who would address such a meeting is a resident. So when a teacher stands up and say, "Oh, you know this cattle dip of ours, it is leaking," or something like that, that one talks now. That person does not talk as a teacher, but talks as a resident, because he or she has cattle which he or she rears, and he or she is talking about issues that he or she faces. He is talking about things that he comes across, and when he's addressing that meeting or attending to that meeting, he attends to the meeting as a resident. If you're talking of this road from here to there, which is not good or anything, you you he talks like a resident of that place, not like other profession. You may find, okay, police officers, you'll find rarely. In fact, if it is known that you come from the area and you're a police officer, it is very easy for you to be transferred out of that place. If you maybe medical and whatever, so you find that teaching is almost guaranteed that you'll go to your home area, if not today, but those days. So people in the meeting were, everybody was giving his or her reason as to what he or she thinks the solution would be solved. But you know, in such meetings, before you give your views, you have to introduce yourself. So this gentleman, he raised up his hand. He was given a chance to speak, and he stood up to speak. He said, "My name is Mwalimu so and so. I teach at such and such a place, primary school, and I also come from this area." But you see, when he gave comments, the type of comments he gave did not please the district commissioner. The district commissioner, in his own assumption, he thought that this one, being a civil servant, maybe he would talk in such a way that they would be pro-government. But this fellow just talked about, you see, he was not talking about challenges of teaching. You know, challenges of teaching are students coming to school late, student being sick, parents not paying fees, or then that way he could talk as a teacher and he would talk on behalf of the government. But when he stood up as a resident, as a farmer there, as a resident who's facing problems there. And when he gave out those problems, the district commissioner was shocked that he expected a civil servant to protect the government and whatever. But when he had the teacher saying, hii serikali yetu, hata hakuna kitu inatusaidia vitu, something like that, then he noticed that the teacher had beards. He said, he turned. You see, I don't know about the administrators today, but administrators those days were teen gods. He found it a bit hard to have been challenged by such a person and said, we na unaacha ndevu sijui nini nini. That is when he decided and said, hii ndevu inyolewe. And he gave some money to APs there. He gave some money to APs there to go and buy a laser blade. You know, those days, nowadays we have very good shavers. But those days we used to have only the razor blade. Nowadays we have even some good ones which are plastic made. You use them, I don't know, 3 or 4 times when you throw it away. But those days it used to be just a laser blade that you placed in the machine and whatever. And then they did that. That is what happened on that day. How the managing editor of the KTN gave out the wrong impression, I just wanted to correct that. Thank you and God bless you.